everybody. Welcome back to Gamers Elf Loft. Come in, relax, and listen to me ramble. I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. I'm actually gonna be looking at the RPG Horror Stories subreddit through the meta discussion side and asking or answering and also reacting to some of the posts I see. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. The first discussion is, what is the most you've got from that Reddit? You got that from Reddit, didn't you? Moment you ever had. From Traditional Text 7229. For me, it was a player who played as a dwarf paladin who kitted themselves out to have the highest AC possible. He got mad when the enemies he was fighting would resort to spells with saving throws or harming his allies instead. Saying about the legions of enemies would bash him over and over, dealing no damage, while the squishier players behind him dealt damage. He even wanted to dual wield shields that had extra AC, and the yield, I swear Barbarian AC stacks with this, just to be much more untouchable AC wise. He eventually retooled the dwarf to be a tank, but also be able to deal something other than stand around and be a wall, but it reeked of, I saw this on a subreddit and it sounded awesome. Well, yes, that does sound fun. Brick walls don't move. And yes, you are being a support by being the highest AC and everything. But as a paladin, you have a much more versatile kit for spells. Smite! Smite. It's a very good spell. And you can also heal. So, not a bad thing. If you wanted to go, me barbarian, me strong, me take hit, go barbarian. There's nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of good barbarians in parties to do that role. Paladins have such a versatile kit, bro. Come on, man. Now, in that same discussion, there was this comment that I read. This is from DISIG. I don't know how to say your name. I do apologize. He didn't get this from Reddit, but my husband once made a character whose whole deal was that he was super fast. This was 3rd edition D&D. He managed to get his monk able to move over 100 miles an hour or something ridiculous like that. What did you do? The assumption was that it would make him harder to hit and do more damage. But I never cleared that with the DM, and well, D&D doesn't really work like that. A punch does the same damage no matter what the speed. It's up to the DM discretion to have it do more, and our DM at the time really didn't want to deal with all that. It was very silly, and he had fun with it in other ways, at least. That's good. I'm glad you guys had fun. And yes, going super fast, delivering supersonic speed punch is kind of cool. Utility-wise, I hope he's a thief. That would have been great to be able to go 100 miles an hour. Well, he's a monk, I saw. But if you could be a thief and go over 100 miles an hour, you can get in and out of a building without even having to worry about anybody seeing you, because they wouldn't be able to see you. But yeah, that's not a bad thing. I want to know what he did, though. I want to know all of those structures to make you go over 100 miles an hour in-game when, the best is someone can go maybe 120 feet in a round with just 6 seconds, which I don't know the calculations for that, but, that's probably a good 50, 60 miles an hour. It's pretty good. Pretty good. But next one. This next discussion comes from Deleted, so they're no longer available, which is sucky. I didn't see that before. But it's going a little bit beyond that guy. Is there a certain type of person you just don't enjoy playing RPGs with? I have one of those, and I'll get those in a second. But I just like power gamers after getting one into my game. They slow up the game by arguing with the GM. They tell their players what to do on their turn. They can't handle losing well because they have this idea that you can win D&D. Newsflash, buddy. Winning D&D is winning with your friends. Winning D&D is having fun. Yes, power gamers have fun by doing that. To me, rules lawyers and also fact checkers, like real life fact checkers, like They want to check things that would happen in the real world and tell you how it happened in the game. Aggravate me to no end. I get it. You want to be the smartest person in the room. This is D&D, buddy. You're playing with your friends. If you want to keep your friends, don't be like this. Don't be a jackass. Don't be a rules lawyer. Don't be a person who has to be right all the time. You can have fun with your friends and be wrong. Or just don't do that. In rules lawyers, there can be a good and bad for that. Like me, I'm still technically new to DMing. I'm still new to playing D&D in general. I never had a chance to really play D&D that much. You guys know this. But being someone who likes playing games and learning as you go, having someone say, actually, you're wrong, doesn't help me learn because you're being constantly asshole about it. Talking to me about it and explaining things instead of, well, I know better and you don't, does not help me learn. It just makes you look like an ass. In the same Reddit, BAMF1701, I have a couple of types, but one in particular is a spotlight hog. Back many more years ago than I like to consider, I was in several games with friends of mine who felt he was the main character of any game he was in, and would say so openly, and would get sullen when the game master would rein him in. He even got asked to leave a few games because of it. These people are so disruptive for both the other players and the GM. I've been on both sides of the screen on this one. The other type of player is the ones who never bother to learn the rules and wants it being disrupted because of it. I'm not talking about someone who asks the occasional question, but the person who asks the same question over and over. Now I understand this one too. The Spotlight Hog is not fun. Goes with the same person who wants to fact check everything, or the rules lawyer. They want to be the main face of everything. Which, yes, a face in a group is not bad. It's not. But a self-appointed face is worse. Now, being the main character and a face are two different things. Main character is, I do what I want, you guys can go do whatever you want, or I just do what I want and have fun and you guys don't have to worry about me anymore because the DM is going to work with me. That's not how a team game works. And also, yes, there are people who ask questions. I ask questions to people who play D&D longer than I have. When I'm DMing stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. But yes, asking the same question over and over and over again, it depends. Well, I guess it depends on the context of when you are asking again and again and again. If it's asking again and again in the same time you used it, that is annoying. If you're asking the same question every other session, that makes sense. You know, who knows how long it takes for people to actually come in and do games. That makes sense to ask again and again every so often. But if you're asking the same session, let alone the same combat, what the spell does or what this skill does, then you need to learn how to retain information better. Not saying you're dumb, not saying anybody has problems. Just saying that you need to learn to take in information and keep it, or you just want to be, oh, I'm helpless and I don't know what to do. That doesn't get you anything either. And last minute discussion one I have for today is from Corgi Conqueror. I love the name, by the way. I recently went through a thread where everyone agreed that the OP was an asshole, and the OP refuted it by calling everyone a victim of mob mentality. I want to know other similarity threads that you guys have seen. The good old, am I the asshole? And when people call you the asshole, you get butthurt about it. If you don't know how to take criticism for your stupidity, don't post on a social forum of over millions of people that want to talk to you about this stuff and call you out for your bullshit. You know, something here, something there, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Don't be an asshole. Pretty simple. But let's see some comments to see what people say. Unfortunately, this is from another deleted account, but every once in a while, I saw this place by Controversial, Banks and Mobile, to see them. I found one of a guy who makes an entire post nitpicking every little thing about a homebrewed world, down to the fact that a fictional language, which the DM didn't even invent, it's as it is one the D&D itself invented, has the letter Q. Huh? They give a full-ass paragraph of linguistic theories as to why Q, existing out of English, is clearly a sign that the DM, who again didn't even invent the language, was terrible and deserves ridicule. And after being called out, they have to comment on their own post, personally pinging their usernames of every other commenter to emotionally manipulate them and pity fish. Now, I don't know what pitying fish means, but yes, that's stupid. And I don't care if the person made up a language or not. You can't do that. There's no reason for you to ridicule a made-up language because of the letter Q. And yes, most places don't have the letter Q in their languages. Awesome. We're special, I guess. I don't know. But not only did you mess up by coming on D&D and tearing into this dude's homeworld story, which it is insane to try and make a homebrewed world out of nothing, to then get torn down from someone who thinks they are a literature professor. And even if you are, those people make money teaching other people how to be respectful languages. And then after that, you start feeling the harassment and everything else. And you start going into the comments of your own post and tagging each individual commenter that you want to demoralize and manipulate them because they called you out on the bullshit. That doesn't make sense. But, yeah. Hi, everybody. Hope you guys had a good time while you're here. This was fun. I think I might do this again later, but not too soon. I have to find more of them. But if you guys have stuff you want me to read, put it in the comments. I would love to read them. Love to see what's going on there. And if I have ways to improve, please put it in the comments. See how you can help me out. But also, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so that way you guys know when I post again. And as always, thank you for joining my forest hovel. Please be safe and enjoy yourselves. Farewell.